What's up guys, my name is Greg and in this video I will cover how to connect your Bubble application to Stripe checkout so that you can start charging your users for your application. If you're new to the channel, in this series I'm doing a walkthrough of Bubble.io to explore the basic functionality that you need to get started in creating a web application that can connect to different third parties and charge a subscription. Before getting started, let's cover some of the basics. What is Stripe? Stripe is a payment platform that allows you to charge users for products or services. And they offer a wide range of products like subscriptions, once-off charges, marketplace payments, and more. Stripe announced that they processed over $1 trillion worth of transactions in the last year. Stripe is one of the most popular payment platforms on the internet because it's very developer friendly and they support a large number of use cases. In this video, I'll be using Stripe Checkout, which is the quickest feature to implement to start taking payments in your website. For this, you'll need to use a Stripe plugin developed by Bubble to connect to the Stripe API. There is also the option to make the subscription page entirely inside Bubble so that the user is not redirected to the Stripe checkout page. This is probably a better user experience if the UI and the design is better. That would involve a more advanced use case of Bubble and Stripe API, and it should be its own separate video. The checkout page is quite common to see in different websites, and people are probably already familiar with this experience. So, as in my previous videos, I already have some of the basic layouts already built, and we just need to go and connect this to some actions and workflows to get the app working with Stripe. In the account page, I set up a group of elements with some fields that are going to show the user information about their subscription. So we got a text element called name, a text element called status, price, and frequency, as well as a button to start the subscription and another to cancel the subscription. And I forgot to add a text element to show the user's email, so I'll add that now. Now this looks like it's ready to be showing some values coming from the database. For the text element of name, we change the text to show dynamic data and we select the current user's name value. And we do the same for email, that's the current user's email. And if we go to the preview page, we can see that it is displaying the name and the email of the current user. Now we can look into connecting to Stripe. So we can go into the plugins menu, click on add plugins, and search for Stripe and select the one that says by Bubble. This is usually the first result. There's other plugins that you can use that the community have built that have more flexibility, but the one developed by Bubble is good enough for our use case, so I'm going to install this one. This will now show in your installed plugins. As you can see, I already have some information here. This is because I had already tried this plugin before recording the video. What's important here is that you fill out the secret key and publishable key. These are provided by Stripe, and they serve as a way to verify the authenticity of your app inside Stripe's platform. For this demo, I'm only using development keys. It is also important that you have a look at the type of data provided and actions that the plugin will allow you to do. Those are listed below. Things like get a Stripe customer, update their subscription, and create a subscription for a user. These are the main ones we will be using. Stripe has a lot more functionality than what is shown in this plugin, but that's out of the scope of this series. Maybe I can cover more in a future video, so let me know if you're interested in seeing some of that content. Now let's go to the Stripe dashboard to see where we get the Stripe keys from and set up the subscriptions. I assume you have a Stripe account already set up. If not, you can go to their website stripe.com and set it up from there. You might need to add your business details and some personal information. Once you're in the dashboard, go to the developers menu. Ensure you're in test mode as this will let you use the test keys and try the whole integration without making any charges before using the live keys in a real scenario. Then go to API keys. Here you can see the publishable key and secret key. The publishable key is normally used in the client side, like a website or an application. So it is okay to publish in a website, depending on the context. The secret key should be kept secret, as with this one, someone could make transactions on your behalf, and that would be really bad. For this demo, and if you're building an app on Bubble using the Stripe plugin, it is okay to use these keys in the plugin. When setting up the real application, you should use the live version of the keys, which you can find by turning off the test mode switch. If we go back to the Bubble plugin for Stripe, you can see I've already added the secret key and the publishable key in the respective fields. Now that those keys are in place, Bubble will be able to provide us with the information about a user's subscription. So let's go back to the account page, and under status, let's change the text to dynamic data and select current user, Stripe customer subscription status. We can now add a workflow that subscribes the user to a subscription. So let's add a workflow that is triggered by clicking on the Start Subscription button. Once in the workflow menu, under payments, we should use the subscribe user to a plan. The pop-up will ask you to select a Stripe price plan. I already had 2 plans created, but let's create a new one so we can see how that's done. Go back to the Stripe dashboard and go to the product catalog. This will show you any active products that you have under the business. In our case, let's create a new product by clicking Add Product. For this, you'll need to fill out the product details. I name it ChatGPT Plan 3. Add a photo. Ideally, you have an image that describes the subscription, but for this demo, I'll use a background image I found from Unsplash. For the amount, I'll set it to $50, and the billing period is monthly. Finally, click on Add Product. Once that's done, it will show up on your product catalog. If you have multiple subscriptions on your website, this is where you would add those. For example, you could have weekly, monthly, or yearly, depending on your business. To identify this product back on Bubble, we need to know the ID. That is shown in the details page of the product. So we select the product we just created. That will take us to a detailed page about the product, and under pricing we can find the API ID. This is the ID that Bubble will use from Stripe to identify this product. Then we go back to Bubble. You might need to refresh the workflow page for Bubble to get the latest Stripe information. And on the workflow for subscribing the user to the plan, we can now select the product we just created, as it will show up in the Stripe plan name, and that's it. We can now try the integration and attempt to subscribe a user to the plan. So we go back to the preview, click Start Subscription. That should take the user to the Stripe checkout page for the product. And the product is the one that we added, a $50 subscription, and it tells me the name, a short description, and it shows me the image that I added. To be able to test this checkout page in the development mode, we need to use some test cards that Stripe provides us with. You can select any of these cards, copy paste the card number, and fill in the rest of the checkout information. And click subscribe. Once the payment goes through, Stripe will redirect the user back to the Bubble page and reload the data. You can see that the status has now changed to active. And if we go back to Stripe, there is a new subscription for the user which is added. We can then set up the cancel button so that users can cancel their subscription. This is relatively simple, as the plugin for Stripe already has an action that allows you to cancel a user subscription. So we add a workflow for the cancel button, and under payments we select the cancel the current user's plan. And that's it, we can go preview this change. Once that is processed, the subscription is no longer active, and the text for the status disappears. If I go back to Stripe and refresh the page, the subscription for that user is now under Canceled Subscriptions. There's a few more things we could do to make this better, like blocking the user from continuing into the application before they are subscribed and showing some more information on the account page. That's all I wanted to cover in this video. In the next video, I'll be covering the integration to ChatGPT, which involves the use of OpenAI APIs, as well as the Bubble plugin for API connector. I hope that you like this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.